Hello friends, what's up and welcome back. Welcome to today's video. This is so long overdue, but literally the shipping has taken so long. But we're here to talk the new Bridgerton and Pat McGrath collaboration. Mine finally came in the mail after waiting every day, checking my email to see if it had shipped. It was very, very long, but that's all right. So we're going to put this on my eyes together. You know the usual. We're going to do the demo. We're going to do the swatches on my skin tone and a deeper skin tone. We're just going to talk about this product. Now, granted, I know it's not available right now. I have seen on her website that you can still sign up for the email notification for when it releases. So I do think she's going to do a second wave of this. So this way you're kind of prepared if you are my skin tone or if you have my tastes or whatever the case may be, you might be a little prepared for whether or not you need to pick either one of these up. So that being said, if any of that is for you, then just keep watching. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the packaging. I do think it is very lovely. I do like the aesthetic. It's romantic. It's very pretty. It's eye-catching. And yeah, it doesn't have a little drawstring. I like that she's kind of gotten away from that because when I store those in my makeup drawer, you know, like this, when I put one back, it always ends up getting caught on that little circle thing. So I kind of appreciate these types of boxes. For reference, both of them are made in Italy and both have an 18-month shelf life. I purchased the bundle of both of these at one time, which instead of like $125, it was $113. And then with the code that did not work at the time, but I emailed them, it took another 10% off. So there was a little bit of a deal there. I'm also very glad I did not wait for it to come to Sephora because it's always kind of a hit or miss. Do I place the order on Pat McGrath's website and wait out that long shipping time? Or do I hold off and see if by chance it comes to Sephora in a few days and then shipping is relatively quick? So there is that, but you know, I'm glad I took the plunge because this never came to Sephora. So let's go ahead and talk about the actual products themselves. So the box for the palette matches the box that it came in, which I very much like. And so I'm glad that they did that. It's, again, very romantic, just very aesthetically pleasing. It does have the sticker on the back with the shade names. I feel like, I may be totally making this up, I feel like it feels a little bit lighter than the other six pans. I don't know, maybe that's, again, I just may be making stuff up. And then here is the inside. They do look and are smaller. And I had heard that, but you never really, it never really sinks in till it comes in and you see it and you're like, oh, these really are smaller. But anyways, and obviously the price is not any less, but that's okay. I still won't go through all of these. So here is what this looks like. And then the mirror has the same border, just very, very pretty. This one is, as per everybody, the most eye-catching, and I am just like, I'm in the zone with this shade. I cannot wait to use it. It's one of her Astral formulas. It's one of those like more gritty formulas. Anyways, we'll talk about that. And then here you've got the highlighter. Let's go ahead and peel this off. I wasn't going to, but it just makes it harder to see. So I actually like that. I think that is, I'm glad they did that because if not, you would have just gotten the same black lacquer packaging. And at least there's something a little bit different to kind of, you know, make it a little bit extra special. So that being said, let's go into swatches real quick. I'm going to throw up swatches of these on my skin tone as well as my husband's skin tone. And that way you have an idea of how they would look on you. And yeah, I've got a couple of different formulas in here that we'll talk about here in a while. And yeah, so let's throw up swatches right now. So I'm going to start off with the shade Art of the Swoon, which is this kind of gelée type of formula with the bee. I'm sad to keep on going into this because the bee is slowly starting to wear down and I've only used it once. So I'm going to use an IT Cosmetics blending brush, and this is a denser brush because this formula is obviously a little bit more baked in there, and you kind of need something a little bit stiffer to grab that product. So I'm just going to blend this into my crease almost in a really messy way because it's just kind of, it's soft enough, the shade is soft enough to where it's not gonna look harsh or overbearing if you know, if you go in with a heavy hand. So I'm just gonna be pretty sloppy about it and just place this all over the crease and transition area, whatever you wanna call it. But yeah, so that's really just gonna be, that's gonna be the brightest of this bunch that we're gonna use today. I'm not gonna use the blue because I feel like everybody has already used the blue. And I do like to go against the grain a little bit. So now I'm gonna go in with the shade Plum Regalia. And again, it's got that little silhouette, but it is slowly wearing down. Now I'm gonna use a Real Techniques little tiny blending brush. It's called the Essential Crease Brush. And I like it for getting into little small areas. And I really didn't want this one to be sloppy. So I just kind of grabbed something small enough to fit in my little crease area and then just place some in the outer corner. Again, because I'm trying to like keep it a little more concentrated than just kind of being as sloppy as I was with the crease shade. And this one builds really, really nicely. I mean, no surprise there, honestly, but like I've hardly gone in with anything and it's not, again, it's not overbearing to where it's like, oh wow, it went in with so much, now I have to do cleanup work. No, it was like enough to just be enough. And if I want to go in with a little bit more, I can. But yeah, just really, really nice. I like the shade, I like the smokiness, but it's still romantic, that kind of thing. Okay, so you guys know what's coming. I'm gonna go in with my Fenty Pro Filter Eye Primer, just a little bit to add a tacky base for the metallic shade that I'm gonna put down, if that's even what the finish is. I call pretty much everything a metallic shade, but the foiled shade, I don't know if it's foiled, but anyways. So just laying that down. This, my friends, is also really great for a cut crease because it does differentiate that crisp line and it gives you that tacky base if you're not, especially if you're not using a matte, to just lay that product down. So for example, this shade right here, I would hands down use the Fenty Pro Filter Eye Primer. If you're new to my channel, that's what I use as kind of a, not necessarily in place of a glitter glue because I do use glitter glue for glitters, but shades like this, even the shade I'm about to put on, this eye primer is the bomb. So just going in with that shade called Duchess Divinity and just a finger, and I'm just gonna lay this down really, really easily. This is such a beautiful shade. Now it does give me Divine Rose 2 vibes. I don't have the first one anymore. Y'all know I decluttered that soon after I got it, but the 2 I very much like. And I feel like it does give me that kind of vibe, but I do think that this just fits in this palette as far as cohesive with the other shades. I have heard that like the color story in this palette isn't as ideal for the show, but you know, I do feel like this shade does pull well with the other shades. So just doing that, and then real quick, grabbing a Wet n Wild little detailer brush, and I'm gonna go in with this lightest shade called Iconic Ingenue. And where did it go? Just grabbing, this is probably like a more satiny type of shade. Ooh, hold on, I have a lint on my brush. Okay. And then I'm just gonna place this like right here in the innermost portion of the lid and just kind of taking it up, just like a little bit of an arch type of, just to kind of brighten it all up. It just meshes so well together. It's so, like, I could totally see this being a Valentine's Day look. It's so romantic. It's so pretty. It's soft. It's just something about it. Anyways, so that's that. I'm not going to do liner. I am going to step away and do mascara and lashes. And honestly, I'm not going to do anything with the lower lash line. I feel like it just looks good the way it is, and we're going to leave it as such. I will be right back. So now we're going to move into the highlighter. I still haven't even pulled off the little thing. I'm gonna leave it there for now. But I picked mine up in the shade Incandescent Gold. It's number 2. So here's what this looks like. Again, just like with the holiday, I feel like I could have done without all that embellishment, or I don't know, it's a little over the top for me, but that's okay. This world doesn't revolve around me. So I'm going to use my Anastasia A23 because my beloved Real Techniques is dirty and needs to be washed. So I'm going to go in with, I have not used this before, so we'll see how this shade works for me. Hopefully it's not too gold. It's pretty. I feel like it does pull a little more gold than what I thought. Ooh, I am getting messy with that. It does pull more gold than what I thought it would. Just a heads up in case you are like me and you don't prefer super heavy gold leaning tones. Sorry. My husband called. He was at Starbucks, and I have been wanting, ever since they brought back the pistachio latte, I haven't gone to get one, so he is at Starbucks now. Priorities here, y'all. Okay, so let's finish this out. I feel like first impressions can be kind of unreliable, only because most of the time I kind of have an idea based on a first impression. But remember what happened with the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. I was unsure, and then I ended up loving that highlighter. So this may be one of those cases, but I'm gonna just tell you that I don't know. I feel like yes, it's light enough for my skin tone, obviously, but I feel like it leans a little bit gold heavy, which it's in the title or the name of the product, I know. But when it leans gold heavy, I get these like lines, these harsh lines that I don't like. Yes, part of it was probably application, but anyways, so there we go. That's what that looks like. Okay, friends, that is that. I hope both of those segments were helpful for you. And let's move into final thoughts because I've got some for you. So we already talked about packaging. I actually really like it. It's very, very pretty. It's different. Pan sizes are smaller. I was a little bit taken aback because I hadn't bought one yet that had the smaller pan size. The last quad she did, I can't remember which one it was, I skipped out on, so I never saw the pan size. And then this, I was like, oh, okay. Because when you're used to seeing the bigger pan sizes, you're like, oh, wow. Anyways, so there is that. That's totally fine. So first off, the different formulas in here, I am so happy about. So the Baked Gelée formulas were fun to work with. Now, granted, I only used the one, I say they. The one I used today, I loved working with. When I first started putting it on this eye before I went on camera, I was like, okay, I went in with one layer. And then I went in with the second layer, and it was like, kind of like when a flower just blooms and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so, so pretty. The finish just gives my skin, my lid, a very healthy look. I don't know, there's something about it that I really like. And I hope this isn't the first and last time that she does that formula. I hope there's more to come with that. And I love these tones in that formula. They're just very beautiful. It's a flush. It's just lovely. And if you are one for double duty with eyeshadow and blush, I feel like there you go. I love the bee embossment. I hope it takes it a while before it kind of dissipates and goes away because it just really makes for beautiful detail in here. I like it. So I loved those like hard pressed formulas. Those were a total win. And again, I hope I see more of that. I hope we see more of that to come. So now let's talk about this little matte right here. I actually really, really like it. If you've been with my channel for a while, you know I am not a fan of Pat McGrath mattes. They are too dry and stiff for me, and I find them hard to work with. I find them hard to build and blend, and I get that bald spot right here between my lid and my crease. I don't know. There's something about them I'm just not a fan of. But every now and then there's one that really does work for me, and this is one of them. I love the shade. I love it that it's romantic. It adds that sultry, smoky look, and it is so easy to work with. It's easy to blend. It's easy to build. I am having such a good time with that eyeshadow. So if you are like me and you're not truly a fan of Pat's mattes, then this one may surprise you. So, and I love the embossment on that too. I'm kind of sad that it's like blending away. So then talking about these two shades here, obviously they are just beautiful. It's nothing surprising because I feel like we've seen very similar shades to that in previous palettes, especially with the whole Divine Rose series that we see going on. But I actually like how it ties in with the shades in this palette, especially these two. It's very cohesive. It all pulls together really nicely. It's just it works, honestly. And I like having a one-stop shop, so I may have a little bit of a similarity overlap, but for me, at least it's all in one place, and it's just, it's stunning. This one doesn't look like much, but honestly, and it's the type that I wouldn't go for on an everyday basis, but pulling together with this other shade right here, wow, so beautiful. It's like they were made for each other. They pair so well. It adds that brightness. It adds that just, I don't know, it's lovely. Very feminine, very cohesive. It just all like a puzzle. It all goes together so nicely. So love those. And then this one I'm excited to use. And listen, I don't even have to tell you that I am not convinced it's going to be the most beautiful thing ever. It is that gritty type of formula, which I believe is her Astral Quad formula. And we haven't seen this type of shade before, obviously, because it was meant for this collaboration, but I'm so super excited. Oh man, there, yeah. So very excited about this one. And again, no doubt in my mind that this is gonna be absolutely fantastic. And then talking about the highlighter, we kind of already went over it when I was putting it on. I'm not sure. I think in swatching it, it's lovely. It's super high wattage. It's what I love to see in the finish of a highlight, but the tone is slightly more gold than I thought it was going to be. I know it's incandescent gold, so I knew it was going to have some sort of gold. I did not think it was going to be as gold heavy, even though it is a lighter gold, because obviously it suits my skin tone. So I feel like I'm going to have to play with this a little bit more. Maybe it's even just the foundation. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes different foundations work better with different highlighter formulas, and this may be it. I'm wearing Wet n Wild today, and so I don't know. That's just the reality of a first impression. You kind of sometimes just are not sure. So I'll have to keep y'all updated on this. I don't know if this tone is going to be for me. But that being said, that is the deal with this collection that I finally got in the mail. I hope some of it was helpful for you. I hope that you got from it something that, you know, maybe you're even still waiting for your package and you're watching this in anticipation. But either way, I hope it was fun and helpful in some way, shape, or form. Alrighty, my friends, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you found it helpful or enjoyed it, whatever the case may be, may I ask that you please give me a thumbs up. That really does help. I forget to ask for it, but here I am just reminding you to hit that thumbs up button. And if you are new to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I would love to be able to spend more makeup time with you in the future. Before I let you go, just want to give you a very quick verse of the day. In an effort to motivate you, encourage you, and to tell you that Jesus loves you so very much. Today's comes from Romans 10:9, and it says, if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Jesus came to pay the ultimate sacrifice for you and me just because he loves us and he loves you that much. If you don't already know him as your Lord and Savior, as your very best friend, as the one who will carry you through the hardships of life, then it is my prayer that he would make himself very real to you, that your heart would feel that tug, that you would hear him calling your name, and that you would answer that call. He is so, so amazing, and I say it every single time. I cannot put it into words how much I love him and how good he really is. All right, friends, I will talk to you in the next one. So until then, stay safe and stay well. Talk to you soon. Bye.